Hey guys, welcome back to the set between SamuelBest and Baddummy trying to play into CALLOUS Invitational 3. We've got a 1-0 count for Baddummy, won a pretty convincing game 1, and here is the second game of their set. Sam is going to have to win this and the next game, or he will be eliminated. So again, it's going to be Sam on the bottom, and it's going to be Baddummy on the top. Milotic gets out of the way of the lead Zapdos, who shows Thunder here as opposed to Thunderbolt. And now we know why. That is a very offensive Zapdos. He's got Drill Peck as well. Got Celebi for 46% before Leech Seed went down. Leech Seed happens again on the switch. Connects with Blissey. Psychic here bouncing off. Specs drop maybe matters, but they probably both get out of the way sooner rather than later with both Leech Seed and Toxic down. Celebi gets out of the way now, as does Blissey, and the better matchup is Baddummy with his Metagross against the Lax, which becomes Metagross against Milotic. Of note, Meteor Mash does get an attack raise here, but it's not enough to entice him to stay in. Baddummy out of the way to Blissey here, who has a free soft-boiled turn. Toxic going to miss here, annoyingly, and it's actually Toxic back from Baddummy instead of going for soft-boiled here, so Milo going to be afflicted with that, but not for very long. There is the refresh to make it go away. Toxic connects now, and connects for Bliss as well. So they're both poison, but they both have the ability to make themselves not poison. Blissey does that now via Natural Cure on the switch, and Milotic does the same. Neither one poison now. Coon on Milo. Calm Mind, and hey, what do you know? Toxic. That's going to connect. Celebi comes in. There's Calm Mind number 2. Got to be careful about Ice Beam here. I would strongly consider switching to Scout for it, but he does not. And looks like he's right. Leech Seed there, and it's just a Roar, dragging out Magneton. Straight back to Celebi, and Celebi on Bliss once again. So it kind of looks already like this could be a long one. There are no spikes in play, there is no sand from either guy, and there's some bulky stuff for both players. So this could definitely be a game that drags. A little bit of switching here. We end up with the Waters against each other again. Claydol gets revealed for SamuelBest, so 1 unrevealed left for him, 2 for Baddummy. Rest coming down for Coon. No idea if the Bliss has Heal Bell / Aromatherapy. It could. Leech Seed connecting with Coon. Zapdos comes down against Celebi. Hidden Power there is looking like HP Grass, pretty standard. Metagross coming in to a Psychic. So a defensive Celebi here, just Calm Mind. We've seen all 4 moves. It is Leech Seed, Psychic. I said Calm Mind, doesn't have that. It is Leech Seed, Psychic, HP Grass, Recover. And there's a Meteor Mash. Psychic here. Yeah, we might be in for a grind here. It doesn't look like either player is making any meaningful progress in all these bulky things. The Lax, the Celebi, the Milo, the Coon, the Blissey. They are all going to take a while to kill in these spikeless, sandless conditions, and a lot of them have recovery moves. Earthquake 31% from Baddummy. Back to Coon here to kill some sleep turns as the Milo simply opts for the recover. Celebi coming in now. And there is a Calm Mind. Alright, so it feels like this is going to take some time, so let's just analyze where we are right now and how either of these players gets out of this. So we know that the Coon does not have Ice Beam. It's just Calm Mind, Surf, Roar, Rest. So that is going to be walled by the Celebi and the Milo. Neither one can actually kill it unless the Celebi were to get running crits. Alright, there's something that could change the game. Sam has a Dugtrio as his last poke, so that could start picking things off like it just did. Picks off the meta. That could also potentially end up picking off the Bliss or something like that a bit later. So that gives us some outs. I'm looking for win conditions both ways. I'm not sure how Baddummy wins because the Coon can be shut off. I mean, he is 2 unrevealed, so we could still have another win condition in tow. And then on Sam's end, his team looks pretty all in on the Curse Lax. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, he's got 2 support pokes in the Magdoll. Milotic is a great poke that I like a lot in the current metagame, but it's not a win condition. It's a defensive, supportive Celebi, which again, without Calm Mind or Baton Pass or anything, is not a win condition. And then, of course, Dugtrio is not a win condition. So really, Sam's team is all in on the Snorlax, which, I mean, frankly, might get it done. It's really hard to know without knowing exactly what the last two pokes are for Baddummy. Here's a freeze on the lax. That could change things. That's kind of one of the bad things about being all in on one win condition, especially when we can confirm that Sam's team does not have Heal Bell. The only thing that could learn it is the Celebi, and we already know that it doesn't have it, so it's totally possible that that lax just never thaws. Now, granted, based on the lack of offense on Baddummy's team, especially after the Metagross went down, the lax may have many, many opportunities to thaw because Baddummy just can't put a lot of pressure on him. But if for whatever reason, no matter how long it takes, if for whatever reason he just never thaws, then I don't know how Sam's going to win. I still like Sam's position right now. It looks to me like lax. I mean, especially if we get to a last poke lax situation, but really just the lax in general. It seems really difficult for Baddummy. Getting the meta caught like that, I mean, I don't blame him for it. He didn't even know there was a Dugtrio on the other side, but the way that it played out, getting the meta caught and killed like that, I think actually made the lax into a real problem. Now, granted, if meta is your only answer for lax, then there's definitely an argument to be made that your team is just too lax weak. But yeah, it looks like lax is a real problem now. Claydol theoretically could have Boom, which, by the way, even without a curse boost, will not kill the lax. And then there is still the one unrevealed. So, I mean, I'm not trying to jump the gun. He could just be hiding a DD tower or something like that this whole time. That would change the dynamic of the game in a big way. DD tower definitely has potential to sweep. I mean, after a boost or two, I mean, he's one crit or flinch away on the Milotic from just winning, potentially. But I think it's going to have to be something like that. I think whatever Baddummy's last is, it's going to have to be some kind of aggressive, probably aggressive physical presence. He's got plenty of special offense as it is. I mean, in this case, I guess the Zapdos is mixed, but the special stuff can be walled by the Lax, the Milo, the Celebi, what have you. So I think he really needs physical pressure. A DD tower would be probably the best thing. Could be a DD Mence, but that gets handled reasonably well by Milotic. Aerodactyl, maybe with some good predictions, could start to poke holes. I think it might be hard to find opportunities to get it in. But the good news is, with how good Baddummy is defensively, when the Aerodactyl finds itself in a matchup it doesn't like, Baddummy can generally very safely pull back, and there's very little that Sam can do to punish that. So yeah, the last poke is going to be really important, whatever it ends up being. Right now, this game's going nowhere. If anything, Sam is just kind of furthering his lead slowly. Now, granted, every time something happens to the Coon, it's costing 2 because of the pressure ability. So, I mean, Leech Seed is starting to tick down. It's definitely possible that that's what Baddummy's plan is right now, to very slowly, it would be a grind, but very slowly wear Celebi out of Leech Seed PP, wear Milotic out of Toxics, blah, blah, blah. Just PP stall things out and eventually set up the Coon. And that's a hard battle. Both Trappers are good against it. Celebi's good against it. Lax is good against it. The team's pretty well set up. Of note, the Lax finally thaws, so if the plan for Baddummy was just to have the Lax never thaw, that is now out the window. He's going to have to find a way to deal with it again. Blissey coming into HP Grass here. Baddummy's team's just really struggling to deal damage here. And I mean, Sam's team does have a few bulky pokes, but it's far from the bulkiest team in the world. Dugtrio, Magneton, Claydol are all not exactly tanky powerhouses here, so it just might speak to a lack of offense in general on Baddummy's team. This is the kind of ADV team that I don't like. It just feels very do-nothing. It just feels like against anything remotely sturdy, especially when they don't bring sand, which Sam did not, that you just really struggle to deal damage. It needs something. It needs spikes, it needs sand, it needs a more aggressive sweeper or a choice bander or something, but it's just so do-nothing right now. And I mean, he does have at least 2 pressure pokes in the Zapdos or the Coon, but I don't see pressure stalling Sam out as a viable strategy. And also, the Zapdos isn't even defensive, so it's not really taking advantage of the pressure ability. We saw Drill Peck and Thunder, so it's clearly an offensive Zap, which also really appreciates spike support. I don't know. I don't love the team that Baddummy is using, just as in, in general. Win or lose this game, I just don't care for the team. Kuhn gets knocked low here. That was a dangerous roar. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but if you had roared Doug Trio out there, the Kuhn actually would have just been dead. The lax is also an issue, like I said. I really don't know what Baddummy's plan is to deal with this thing. He does actually have explosion, but 66% is all it's going to do because of the +1. Zapdos against Celebi now. Thunder, 24% meh, but we know it has Drill Peck, which did like 50 last time. Let me scroll up real quick. I don't remember exactly how much. It did a lot. 46% is what it did all the way back on turn 2. Psychic Crit and S-Toss. He could try to sneak Dougie in on the soft boiled turn here. He goes lax instead. Seems fine. Seems safe. I don't know what Baddummy can do to punish. Zapdos is the answer. There's Curse. Zapdos definitely, an offensive Zapdos definitely would not live +1 per return here. But he doesn't go for it. He goes to Magneton. Maybe he thought Drill Peck was coming. He would have taken the Thunder fine too had it connected, but it did not. Thunder Wave on Bliss. Celebi in now. Whatever Bliss was going to do doesn't happen because of the paralysis. Recover from 70%, might be lack of something better to do. And a third para in a row for Blissey. Obnoxious, but I don't know how relevant it is. I don't know what Blissey was going to do on any of those turns that really would have mattered. Unboosted returned as 64%. That's how frail offensive Zapdos is. However, he gets the ideal Thunder here with a crit and a para. He goes Thunder again instead of Drill Peck, however. That is an over-prediction. Sam with the balls to stay in is going to get him with Psychic, and Sam really crushing this game now. He's up 6-3, and it doesn't look like Baddummy has anything remotely offensive to pressure any of Sam's stuff. It's all so healthy. Milotic, 87%. Celebi at 35%, but can just recover on the Bliss or whatever. Lax is healthy, Mag 100, Claydol 100, Doug Trio 100. Roar drags out Magneton. That's bad for Kuhn, obviously. Here comes Bliss. I would have liked to have seen Sam double switch to Celebi there on the obvious Bliss switch in. That would have enabled him to get a free recover off, but even without doing that, I think he's still in good shape. Hidden Powers trade here. Oh, yeah. Last poke Magneton from Baddummy. This team is a hot pile of do-nothing. I do not like Baddummy's team whatsoever. And I believe he's going to get 6-0'd here by Sam. Celebi here, absolutely nothing, preventing recover. There it is. Toxic, the best thing that he can do back. Like I said, one steaming pile of do-nothing. That is how I would describe Baddummy's team. Only thing close to a win condition is the Kuhn. Zapdos never going to get it done without Sanders Spike support. Meta, I mean, again, does damage to stuff, but definitely not a win condition. It's really just the Kuhn. And the Roar Kuhn set without spikes is underwhelming. And yeah, without Sand, it has a hard time killing stuff too. Not a fan. I would scrap that team, hit that good old delete button. He's not going to get swept, though. He did kill the Magneton, so we do have ourselves a 5-2. I'm going to speed it up to fast at this point. I'm having a really hard time, especially now that Doug Trio does that. Now I think it's just over. I mean, I think it's actually impossible now for Baddummy because I don't think the Bliss can ever beat the Lax. So, looks like I switched it over to fast at the right time. Ice Beam, looking for the crit of the freeze, doesn't get it. Earthquake will wrap it up. So we have two uneven games here. We have a stomp for Baddummy over Sam in Game 1, and now in Game 2, we have the other way around in which Sam crushes Baddummy. I cannot say loudly enough that I hate the team that Baddummy brought, but maybe this is just a bad matchup or a bad showing for it, but I'm going to give it the CALLOUS thumbs down seal of approval, which probably means that it's really good. But anyhow, thumbs up if you liked it. We're going to Game 3. It's going to be winner advances to the finals of their group, and loser is out. Can't miss that. It's coming up next.